Welcome everyone to what should be an exciting game from the Join Dota League. The House is Down versus Union Gaming, two of South America's finest at this point. Should be an interesting game as we already see a very strong lineup coming out from both sides. Union Gaming picking up the Batrider and the Shadow Demon, making sure that Shadow Demon isn't there to disrupt anyone the Batrider pulls in, though the House is Down have a very strong set of counters of their own, with the Wombo combo of Disruptor and the Dark Seer, which should be pretty epic to see together. They also have two ways to shut down the Batrider, with the Glimpse and the swap from Vengeful Spirit. It should be a rather interesting to see how well the House is Down puts together their combo, and if they decide to pick up anyone else with that combo. At the moment, Union Gaming had a pretty solid start, and they're going to have to pick up what I expect to be another support, wanting to hold their carry until last, just as they don't want to show a whole lot. And there's the Wraith King, generally played as a support in this meta, just due to the fact that he requires a ton of farm to come online if he's played as a carry, and he's always vulnerable to being kited, especially a lineup like this where you have the Surge, where you have the Kinetic Field and Vengeful Spirit. He's just so easy to kite around, so I fully expect him to be a support, and he combos incredibly well with Shadow Demon. As soon as they come out of the Soul Catcher, you hit him with that Wraithfire Blast, and they just get melted. House is Down. They're going to pick up a little bit more split push and go for some increased minus armor, giving them a large amount already. They have the bugs from Weaver, which shred armor pretty consistently. They have the Howl from Vengeful Spirit, which is even more armor shred, so they should be able to cut through any armor that Union Gaming build at this point, especially throughout the mid game, which will give them a very strong advantage. It also continues the theme of mobility, as they have the Disruptor to pull people back in, Dark Seer with Surge, and the swap just to move things around, and the Sakuchi from Weaver to get him moving around. So this is going to be a very hard lineup to truly lock down on the side of the House is Down. They're going to be in a great spot to just move around in these fights, and this is where I fully expect the Wraith King to be a support, as he would be kited all day long. Just no way he gets anything off in a game like this, as he just doesn't have the ability to keep up with all this. And Puck is going to be the choice coming out from Union Gaming. I expected to go mid lane, just due to the fact Batrider is a significantly better off lane, but it's really up in the air at this point, as I really couldn't tell you, as both of them are pretty interchangeable at this point, just due to the fact that they can easily go in the off lane or the mid lane. They both have good escape mechanisms in the Firefly and the Illusionary Orb. And it's all going to come down to what the House is Down pick at this point. They really need, I think they need just another team fight controller and to go with their current team fight. That'd be the best option here. They don't really need damage. They have the Weaver. They've got some good damage in the Vengeful Spirit and Disruptor and the Dark Seer combo, so they should be okay on that front. Dragon Knight is a smart ban out by Union Gaming. He would give them the control and a bit of more initiation. He would also provide them a good bit of damage, so they need to go for something that has a bit more damage. I'd say a Viper or Razor at this point would be a solid option. They have enough lockdown that they can just keep them in range, so the Viper can either wail on them, or the Static Link from Razor could easily keep anyone from Union Gaming there. Union Gaming is still fairly mobile, but with the Kinetic Field, Static Storm, and the Vengeful Spirits done, it's going to be very hard to actually get away. And they have still a good bit of bonus time, so they'll probably wait it out, as most teams like to do. Just think about the entire draft, think about what Union Gaming is going to do, and decide how they want to lane it. As House is Down could go aggressive with this lineup. It would not be terrible. It would still be pretty difficult up against the Shadow Demon, Wraith King, and an unknown carry. Huskar. And, okay, apparently they want some damage. Not going to complain about that pick. Huskar's been getting a lot more popular. He's not terrible. He provides a decent crowd control with his ultimate. There's a lot of magic damage coming out from Union Gaming and not a whole lot of physical at the moment. So he's going to be pretty well protected. It's a solid pickup at this point. The more I think about it, the more I like him. He provides good damage, so he's going to be able to just rip through things with Weaver. He buys a lot of space if they want to run around as a 4v1 and let Weaver split push. But Union Gaming go for the split push master in the Anti-Mage. This gives them a good bit more physical damage, though it will take them a while to get online. So the Houses Down are going to have to make the most of that. For the kind of 4-man roaming squad they're likely to send out with a Disruptor, Dark Seer, Vengeful Spirit, and Huskar, letting Weaver kind of split push against the Anti-Mage. It's not a win when the Weaver split pushes against the Anti-Mage, but it's not a loss, as both of them just kind of push the wave. The Anti-Mage gets a little more out of it because he can flash farm, but there's just virtually zero chance that Weaver dies in that situation. Anti-Mage just can't touch him outside of just a blink in for 1, maybe 2 hits. Fully expect the Houses Down to go for just a standard tri-lane at this. Honestly, no, I think they'll go aggressive. I changed my mind on that. I think they'll go aggressive with the Huskar, letting Weaver just kind of play in a safe way and alone up against either Puck or Batrider. And if you put an aggressive tri-lane with Huskar, Vengeful Spirit, Disruptor, that's pretty annoying. If you get out of position for even a second, you just get glimpsed back into one of the strongest early game carries in the Huskar. But we'll see how it actually pans out, as I couldn't say for certain. And it will actually be Huskar mid. They don't decide to put the Dark Seer mid and just send an aggressive tri-lane. So they're going to protect the Weaver. Not a terrible decision. As we have a moment here, we'll just go down our lineups. Baby Scumbag on the Dark Seer. Vastus taking up the Huskar. Vestius on the Vengeful Spirit. Violence taking up the Weaver. Neofolk on the Disruptor for the Houses Down. On the Union Gaming side of things, we got Cinderil taking up the Batrider. Benjaz on the Anti-Mage. Wraith King up by Zinderlils. And Jericho on the Shadow Demon. Last but not least, it's stand-in Nova on the Puck. So it will be a Puck mid lane, Batrider off lane, which is a pretty powerful combination. They should be just fine for getting their levels, especially once Puck gets level 2. If Huskar wants to throw a few spears his way, he can dodge 1, possibly 2, depending upon how well he times that phase shift. As you can dodge 2 if you time it perfectly, but it's not an easy task to do, though I'm sure they've had at least a bit of experience playing against a Huskar, just due to the fact he's a fun pub hero, and a lot of teams are just picking him up as an extra damage source. Weaver with the Haste Rune, not going to be particularly useful, as I don't foresee Batrider to be in any trouble, though I do love this ward from the Houses Down. They place it very early, they make sure the Batrider is going to be under control for the early portion of the game, and it gives Disruptor a glimpse vision, just to make sure that no one can actually get away from him just through that early portion of the game. Though a nice block by Batrider means that he's going to be okay. Baby Scumbag in a lot of trouble. He has skilled the Ion Shell, so he's going to be in a lot of trouble, and I don't think he's going to get out of here. Perfect block, and he does get close, but easy first blood, because there was just no chance for him to escape. Excellent blocking in, and that is just unfortunate. It's one of the reasons why we see Dark Seers not skill anything for the first level or two, just to make sure they get both Ion Shell and Surge, so they have the Surge available if it's needed. And that results in his death, and he's going to have to go straight to the jungle. He's not going to be able to get that first level or 2, which you really want, and not apply any pressure to this Anti-Mage, who should be able to get complete free farm. That is the one advantage of having a Dark Seer, though, is that he can just go to the jungle for a little bit and be alright. As he does get pretty decent farm if he actually throws out the Ion Shell. Surprised he hasn't thrown it yet. I think he's just waiting to stack it up. He could, if he noticed that camp over here, could take out the Satyrs, but I don't think he's going to at any point in the near soon. He's just going to want to stack up, throw the Ion Shell out on 1 or 2 of the creeps, and be just fine. Nova in the mid lane going for a pretty standard build here, just making sure that he gets the Null Talisman up for the extra damage. Huskar's base damage is not that great. He's gone for what looks to be an early Urn and the double Gauntlets of Strength. You pick up the Urn, pick up Ring of Basilius, and you just run around ganking. And that's how I fully expect this Huskar to be played. He should be able to do that pretty effectively, as his team brings enough lockdown that he doesn't have to worry about being kited around, as that's the general fear of Huskar. So you take 2 or 3 spears, kind of back off, and just kind of continuously trade like that. as he has a hard time really getting and staying on anyone, especially considering his ultimate doesn't deal damage right away. You have that moment or two to just blink away or dodge it, as the case would be with Puck. So I don't think we're going to see any real aggression anytime soon over there. Batrider has rotated the jungle, and he's in decent shape. He picked up at least a level or two in that top lane. He should be able to start stacking. And Seer are going to be hitting level 3 pretty soon as well. Just decides to continually stack. Yeah, I think he's going to get this one up here. As I don't foresee any action for this early game, and he didn't actually get the stack. Rather unfortunate. These can be annoying to stack just due to them having ranged mobs. And it's just incredibly painful. Huskar are going to jump in and do some good damage to Puck. He's got 4 stacks with that burning spear on him, and he will live, but that's going to take away all his bottle charges. And in the top lane, Batrider trying to get in, but he's just a little too late. So he's not going to get the Firefly down before they hit the turret. And with this tower, it should go down pretty quickly, as I think we're going to see the houses down go for a quick tower push. If they can push these 2 towers pretty quickly, they'll have room to rotate around the rest of the map. Same thing with Union Gaming. They want to be able to push this tower down quickly. They can get that extra gold to Anti-Mage so he can buy the quickest Battle Fury possible. And if Anti-Mage gets out of control, he has the ability to carry this game over anyone on the houses down, just due to the fact his team brings ridiculous amounts of lockdown. The question becomes, will he be able to get that free farm? As I expect Union Gaming to want to push at least the top 2 towers, as Batrider does fall. Why he was out that far, really didn't think he would actually go in that case. But he decided to go for it. Shadow Demon going to throw his combo out, and here's the Wraith King. He takes it up. Huskar in a lot of trouble as he does get stunned, and he's going to be taken down, but no real counter, as the Vengeful Spirit didn't have mana. If she had mana for that magic missile, she would be just fine. And they possibly could have turned that around, but a big mistake on the side of the house is down, and an excellent play by Union Gaming. And that's a teleport. I don't believe Seer used his teleport. He just rotated in, so he's going to pick up some free experience and gold. But all in all, pretty big win for Union Gaming as they get a kill on the Huskar, keep him from going out of control at this point. And they burn the Vengeful Spirit's teleport, which means this top tower isn't going to go down as quickly. She has the 1 point in the Vengeance Aura, so they were looking to push. You don't put a point in Vengeance Aura until significantly later if you're going to be trying to just stand around and farm, as it does give the extra damage to the creeps and make sure that they push incredibly quickly. And in general, if you're the Vengeful Spear, if you're farming, you don't want them to push. You want them to come to you. So that's why you wait on it. Puck was going to rotate up top, and I think he's going to try to rotate between the mid and top just to make sure his tower goes down a little bit slower. And this also gives room for the Shadow Demon to get some extra levels, as he's picked up level 3 from that kill earlier in the mid lane and the first blood. So he's in good shape. He can start stacking the jungle and take it down a little bit with Shadow Poison when Batrider isn't using it. So far, Anti-Mage leading the last hits pretty heavily. So he's sitting at 41 and 11, making sure to control this creep wave pretty heavily, though they have done significant damage to this bottom tower. Weaver not too far behind at 36 and 2. Those gone a lot more for the pushing build, just due to the fact he's picked up the early Ring of Basilius, which means we're going to see a lot of early game pushing on the side of THD. Violence really wanting to get things started, as we have Nova rotating in on the Puck. Don't think he's going to find anything particularly useful, as there he gets Sakuchi. He has a double damage rune, but not sure double damage is what you want at this point if you're Puck, because you're just going to be running. You don't want to run into 3. Throws out the orb, but no luck landing. Nice use of the glimpse. And he knows he doesn't have it for a few seconds, but a little bit off on that kinetic field. Puck taking a lot of damage, and he's very low. Gets a nice magic stick off, but beautiful Dream Coil onto 3. And that should mean his escape, as he does jump away, but he does jump right into the arms of Huskar. Not what he wanted. Kind of surprised he jumped all the way there instead of just jumping to the river, but oh well. And Disruptor picks up a kill. This also buys room for Baby Scumbag to come to this bottom lane. He's at level 5. You can double Ion Shell the wave and make sure that Anti-Mage doesn't have an opportunity to push. It will mean the Anti-Mage gets good farm, but I think they're okay with that on the side of Union Gaming. trade harassment for farm. He already has the Ring of Health, so it's not going to be doing too much. And the tower is not of any real importance. The tower is nice as it does help Anti-Mage farm the jungle, as it's just very hard to gank him when this first tower is down. As you can't rotate in, you can't bring anything to the lane without being spotted pretty obviously. And it's going to be a fairly passive for the next 3 or 4 minutes, as I don't foresee either team wanting to go for any real aggression unless they get just something completely open. And that's going to be the House is Down trying something. Didn't think they were going to. I thought they were going to play it safe. But instead they're going to smoke up and they're going to go for this bottom lane. Darkseer in a lot of trouble, and he should go down pretty easily. Wall is thrown out. As Huskar does come in, Anti-Mage picks up a kill, but I don't think he's getting out alive. Wraith King falls. Anti-Mage going to be shut down as Huskar goes to town, burning everything. Shadow Demon is level 6, but I don't think that's going to save him. As Neofolk gets pulled in, Syndrel doing a great job of isolating 1-for-1. But here comes Puck as Nova comes in, does some good damage, and this should be another kill, as I don't think Thassus has the damage to actually continue fighting for too long. Puck is low, but he does phase shift that last bit of damage, and he is alright. Baby Scumbag has come back in the fight, but that's a dead Huskar. Big win for Union Gaming. And I'm really shocked they didn't just run away once they got the Anti-Mage kill. You pick up your 2 quick kills, the Anti-Mage and the Wraith King, back up. You know that they're going to send support. And it was a 5v4 in favor of Union Gaming as they take a few extra kills. They do get the one on the Anti-Mage, but I think he'll live, as they're going to be able to take this tower without any real contest. Weaver did do a bit of damage up top, as he's going to be able to push this wave in. And there might be a slight engagement, as they are going to try to defend on the side of the House is Down. Wraith King in a lot of trouble as the Darkseer gets a nice deny. That's all they could really ask for. Glimpse is used on the Anti-Mage, and down he goes. Beautifully played, and this is why the Disruptor is so strong against the Anti-Mage. That Glimpse is just nuts against him. He blinks away. If you have vision, you just send him right back, and there's nothing you can do. Surprised he hasn't put a point in the Thunder Strike, as Ghost Disruptors love that first points. It's just such a high damage ability at level 1. Regeneration. And at this point, Huskar are going to be doing some good damage to Puck, but I don't think anything's going to come of it. Huskar has picked up the urn, and it looks like that might be just a casual ring protection at this point, as I don't think he's actually going to turn it into anything, as he really would have done that already if he was going to. One of the interesting things I've seen on Huskar lately is you go and pick up the regeneration boots and then just go throw out a bunch of damage with your burning spears, back up, heal yourself up, and then go back continually fighting. That's just one of those interesting things I've seen from him lately, as it allows you to continually throw out the burning spears. You can use them for last hitting, you can use them for anything, and you just go for a really strong harassment build. House is Down is going to find some of the stacks as Darkseer clears them up with the help of the supports, just making sure that they don't get the early Batrider Blink Force Staff. He has the components almost ready for the Force Staff. He has the Blink already, but still, you want to just continually farm on him and make sure he gets that up soon. And at this point, I don't see him picking up anytime soon without finding kills, just due to the fact he has such a low farm priority on the team at this point, and he's unlucky with those Mud Golems. Weaver up top, going to be going for the standard Lincoln Sphere after Midas. Love the Midas choice on the Weaver this game, as he's going to be off in kind of a 1v1 role with the Anti-Mage for most of it, or just kind of off on the side in a 1v none, as he is going to try to go in here and at least harass the Puck down. Puck has burned through most of his bottle charges. There's a little bit of engagement in the mid lane. Wraith King does have his ultimate, so I don't think there's going to be any real engage. And both sides are just kind of sitting around for letting their carries farm. And this is going to favor Union Gaming, just due to the fact Anti-Mage farms faster than Weaver if left alone like this. And he should have a pretty good time on his Battle Fury. He's gotten most of the components already, so it should be another minute or two, and it'll be about a 14-minute Battle Fury by the time everything's said and done, especially because he sees them rotating from the mid lane. There's no one defending, and if there's no one defending this middle lane tower, you have to know something's up. And that's why the Anti-Mage backed away. It's one of those situations where you expect them to defend it, and they're not defending the Weaver up top, so you know they're smoking for the Anti-Mage. It's just too obvious. They needed to keep someone in the mid lane. As risky as that is, going for this kill, you have to keep someone there. And it would have been nice to see the Dark Seer just stay in the mid lane, protect that mid tower. But instead, they're going to go for the bottom one and take a free tier 1. Excellently played. It works out this case, as Union Gaming didn't respond fast enough with any real reinforcements. And this hurts Anti-Mage's farm. He would have had a nice 14-minute Battle Fury. But instead, it's going to be delayed slightly. This is going to be a bit of an engagement in the mid lane. Wraith King under a lot of trouble, but I don't think there's anything you can do to survive. Those burning spears just way too strong. As Batrider actually picks up a kill in the top lane as he takes down Weaver, comboing up with Puck for some big plays. And well done between those two to keep the Weaver down. He's almost caught up with Anti-Mage as he's down just slightly. And Anti-Mage is going to pick up a kill, and this means 14-minute Battle Fury as Baby Scumbag doing what he needs to do to survive. Though I don't think there's anything he can actually do outside of just continually juke. Anti-Mage didn't want to go for the kill, and I'm surprised he didn't. He had the blink available. Just blink in, try for it. He only needed one hit. And that's just one of those situations where he thought reinforcements were likely coming and just decides to back away. It's the right... I don't think it's the right decision. You go for the kill, go big or go home. But that's his choice, and he decided against it. Net worth overall, the Weaver's pretty far ahead of the Anti-Mage, all things considered, thanks to the Midas. And he needs that to keep up with the Anti-Mage's Battle Fury, which is not too far off the 14-minute mark, which is kind of the standard Battle Fury time if you're given good farm. In this game, the Anti-Mage is given pretty decent farm, though he has been harassed heavily. Vestus in a little bit of trouble, and he will be blinked on. Easy kill. Or, yeah, there we go. Almost got away, but Nova picking it up, as he did just a good job of last hitting, blinking in, getting a nice silence off. It was a pretty easy kill. There wasn't any reason for Vengeful Spear to be that far out. As much as you want last hits on your supports, it's not worth it at this point. Vengeful Spirit has gone for the very mid-game centric fighting build, where you stack minus armor. You have the medallion, you get 6 armor reduction from that. You put multiple points in the Wave of Terror, so he's at minus 10 armor, whoever gets hit by both the Wave of Terror and medallion. And that just rips through anything that Union Gaming has at this point, as I don't think they have anyone above about 5 armor at this point. Yeah, they're all sitting on about 4 to 6. This is going to be another easy kill on the stand-in Neofolk, who just does not have the ability to get away. And this is the big advantage Union Gaming has, is they have initiation. They just have nutso initiation, as I expect Wraith King to likely pick up a Blink Dagger as well. So they'll have at least 3 ways to blink in and start a fight. And 4 if you want to blink in on your Anti-Mage, but Disruptor's going to be in a little trouble. Jericho should be able to get out of this pretty easily, as he has a Blink Dagger of his own. And that means everyone on Union Gaming gets a Blink Dagger, or a Blink ability. So they're going to be blinking around. Benjaz's going to be continuing off on his farm route. Not really anything you can do to pressure this tier 2 tower. They don't want to waste time on it, as it's really not a critical tower. And towers are not what Union Gaming want at this point. They want to just continue to let the Anti-Mage have free roam over the jungle and force these engagements near the tier 1. If they have to go to the tier 2, that's just a little too deep. So they actually want to keep these tier 1 towers alive in the mid lane and top lane. It's nice. The Golden Fusion is nice, but the ability to just find easy pickoffs right near the river is almost too good on the side of Union Gaming. So they're just going to continually go for those pickoffs. Roche should be pretty quick with his massive minus armor. Vengeful Spirit needs to throw out the wave, though, as that's an extra 4 minus armor against Roshan, and that puts him completely in the negatives. But with the burning spears, he goes down pretty quickly. Weaver's taking a bunch of damage as there is a pause. Not sure what's up about that, but hopefully it'll be quick. Most of these are fairly quick. And yeah, that's the Disruptor disconnecting. And you can't have the Disruptor disconnect at this point. Same with Batrider. Looks like South American Internet for the win this game. As there are a few disconnects. And I apologize about the teleporting sound, as that's just one of those weird bugs with Dota. I can't do anything outside disable all sounds to get rid of it. So we'll just have to live with it for a few moments. It's just one of those annoying things. But this does give us a chance to catch up on the items outside of the carries, as Weaver's going to have his Lincoln Sphere and Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury ready. Darkseer has picked up the mech. He's got Arcane Boots as well, so he's in a good position throughout this game. And I think he'll be just fine going forward. He needs to hit that level 11 though. The second level of Wall Replica is pretty massive. It's an extra 15 seconds on that wall. And that just means that there's a chance people will be knocked into it, as there are going to be a lot of kiting in these engagements. As I don't foresee either team really wanting to have a stand-up fight. Union Gaming wants to jump in, find 1 or 2 kills, then run away. House is Down wants to jump in with Huskar and glimpse someone back and then pick up their kills that way. And not really have these long drawn-out engagements. But with both teams going for these pickoffs, a nice wall of Replicant will mean extra illusions, as they could easily just kite them back through the wall if Union Gaming wants to actually continue to contest in these engagements. Batrider has picked up the 4 staff along with the Blink Dagger, meaning he's going to be in good shape throughout this game. He didn't actually go for upgrading his boots. He's likely going to save those for an early Boots of Travel, just so he can help split push and come to the Anti-Mage's defense, which would be a really good option this game. So I expect to see a lot of ganks on Anti-Mage. House is Down have a lineup that can deal with it pretty well with the Disruptor, even though he's very item starved. As he's looking for the Arcane Boots, he has the Magic Wand, but nothing really else. Medallion and the Magic Wand up on the Vengeful Spirit. Huskar going for a little bit of everything, as he has the Urn of Shadows, he has the Morbid Mask. He's not going to turn it into anything just yet. Likely going to be going for an Armlet, which is fairly standard. And with the Armlet, he should be just fine in these engagements. That gives him a lot of extra health. You could easily toggle it against this lineup, because there's no huge burst damage when he gets low health, as they don't have a great physical burst ability. Or something like Alina to just burn through all that magic damage. But it looks like Disruptor going to be caught out. And that's a free kill, but in exchange for Roshan. And Huskar does actually pick it up. Is Batrider in a lot of trouble? He's going to go down. Nice kill as the Weaver picks it up. Wraith King in a lot of trouble. Zinderla's going to be just fine, but Weaver picks up the Shadow Demon, as he had no business being there. And they're going to continue the engagement. Anti-Mage has jumped in, but this is Anti-Mage time, and boom! Goes the Darkseer. As Benjaz gets a nice kill, and he's going to go on Vestius. The Wraith King ultimate way too strong, and there's not enough damage coming out without the Vengeful Spirit. Weaver in a lot of trouble. He should be able to time-lapse. Dodges the Illusionary Orb. And he doesn't actually want a time-lapse. Does that put him in a very vulnerable position? Huskar's there. Going to be jumping in the Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage is forced to run away. Nice use of the Glimpse. And that means Benjaz goes down. Wraith King going to jump away. And Wraith King just fine, as Weaver does get his time-lapse off. The Demonic Purge should tick him out. No, it does not. Static Storm on the mark. But it is not enough, as Huskar does come back to life. He had to burn the Aegis. Disruptor goes down yet again, as he was the first one in that engagement to fall. And here comes Vengeful Spirit. Does have a swap available, but Puck a little too mobile. And he has the Blink Dagger if needed. Shadow Demon comes in. Nice vacuum wall combination, but it's not on the money, as Batrider illusions were not had. Though Batrider in a lot of troubles, he's going to tick down. Don't think he's going to actually die from it. But still, he's pretty much out of this engagement. He doesn't have a way back to base for a while. Wraith King shows off his new Blink Dagger, as they do try and save this tower, but no chance. This Huskar just way too strong at this point in the game. Wraith King in a lot of trouble, and he should go down, as I don't see him getting out of this. The Burning Spears are amazing against Blink Daggers. And there's the nice use of Disrupt yet again, as the Glimpse is way too strong. And you just can't blink away, as there's pretty good vision on the side of the House is Down. And I'm surprised they don't go contest this Anti-Mage. They see him up top. They could. 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 They could but they instead are actually going to go up and try and get him in the lane. They know he's up here as he's pretty obviously showing himself. He has a teleport scroll, and he's got the Yasha on the way. And it's going to be Huskar jumping around like a madman right into the arms of Batrider. But nice swap, keeps him alive for now. And Anti-Mage in a lot of trouble, but nice disrupt by Jericho. And Benjaz is going to be in more trouble as he goes down. Huskar doing work this game, but Puck doing even more as he comes in and gets a massively needed kill on the Disruptor, as they really want to trade here. And Huskar could go down if he gets another stack, but he does not, as he had several stacks of the Shadow Poison on him. Nice job jumping in with Puck, but Huskar too strong. You just can't kill him this game, as Weaver finally comes in. Violence doing some good damage. Nova in a lot of trouble, should burn down, as that's just way too much damage. Weaver's going to pick up the kill, and that's a massive killing spree. And finally, we get about a minute or two to actually take a look at the graphs, as both of these teams have been engaging on and off for the last good 5 minutes. What all started at the Roshan has rotated all the way around the map and been kills on pretty much everyone. The only one not to die in that, I believe, is Huskar, though he did lose the Aegis in the process. Taking a look, it was a fairly decent Union Gaming lead in terms of gold, has now tipped in favor of the Houses Down. This is exactly what the Houses Down wants, and yeah, there we go. 2,000 gold lead and a 4,000 overall swing. Pretty massive, and experience should be even bigger, as yeah, 5,000 to 0. Exactly what the Houses Down needed to turn this game around. They weren't losing the game, as their lineup just doesn't farm as much, but they weren't in a great position, as Huskar, considering he picked up a massive amount of kills in that last engagement, he's gone for the Reaver, going for the early Satanic, and I don't blame him. If you have 3,000 gold from towers, Roshan, and kills, might as well use it. Violence in the mid lane might be in a bit of trouble if they decide to blink on him, as he should go for a Desolator here. I don't think there's enough magic damage to really worry about picking up the BKB just yet. Save that for your next item after the Desolator. Get that early damage, and Huskar going to pick up an easy kill on the Anti-Mage. He just doesn't have... Anti-Mage is just way too weak in this lineup when he's actually forced to engage. Jericho going to be in a bit of trouble and should go down, but beautiful ball combination with the vacuum, and that is a big win on the side of the Houses Down. Dark Seer doing work. It didn't result in any kills, but it results in an easy tower. And without Anti-Mage, there's not a whole lot that can be done, as Union Gaming just don't have the ability to actually protect him. And that's the big weakness of an Anti-Mage lineup, and why he really fell out of favor, is he needs a good 30 minutes of just PvE to actually come online and do anything for any real usefulness. And he, especially with his Battle Fury into Yasha and what should be a BKB, as he desperately needs it to be able to actually jump in these engagements, as he seems to get stunned and glimpsed out pretty much as soon as it's off cooldown. And that's going to be a big pickup once he picks up the BKB, so that'll also allow him to actually fight in these engagements, as the Wraith King going to be chopped down. Nice disruption saves him for a few moments, but vacuum is there, and that means Batrider likely to go down as well, as the Burning Spears plus means way too much damage. Huskar doing work and takes out the Anti-Mage. Oh boy, that is not looking good for Union Gaming, as they find another kill on the side of the Houses Down. 4 for 1. As Huskar, too good, and they still don't have an answer to him. They have good Magical Burst, but Magical Burst does nothing when you have 99% magical immunity. Well, 98, ooh, but 98 magical damage is practically immunity at this point. And the physical damage from Puck and Batrider is very minimal. And Wraith King doesn't provide anything particularly useful. He's going to have Blade Mail, but not sure how much that's going to help. The armor is going to be nice, but Blade Mail in itself does not do a whole lot, other than just allow you to throw out an extra Wraithfire Blast in the engagements, as it does boost your mana pool. And there's the Desolator on Weaver. Figured he wasn't going to go BKB, as there's not a whole lot of control that's really BKBable. If he's going to get picked off, it's because the Batrider jumps in. And so far, Batrider's found a few good pickoffs in these engagements. But he just does. There's just always seems to be someone right there. As we're going to bid him engagement, Darkseer in a lot of trouble. Should go down. As they have engaged on him. And that's an easy kill. But nice swap means Wraith King going to go down as well. He doesn't have his ultimate for a few seconds. Puck is up here as well. And there's the glimpse. It does bring the Wraith King back. Should be an easy kill. As Diaz comes in. Jump and burn. Weaver does find the puck, as they really didn't expect him to have the Desolator out so soon. And he's going to go deep onto Jericho. Jericho has a disruption and he pops it. Weaver should be able to just get out of here pretty easily. He has a bottle of the regeneration, which is why he's playing so greedy. But 5 health on the Shadow Demon, and that means Weaver goes down. Excellent timing. Overall, 2 for 2. And no towers are going to be traded. So win for Union Gaming. They pick off the much-needed kill on the Weaver and the Darkseer, giving them a lot of experiences. They were both fairly high level. Anti-Mage was also given good room to farm during that engagement. So he's getting close to his BKB. He has it actually fully done now. This is going to be in the area where THD can't go for too much longer. Anti-Mage is actually battle ready now. He still needs the mana style if he wants to be at full effectiveness, as those illusions are just not so strong. But he can still actually fight now. Where in the last engagements with the BKB, it seems like he just got shut down very quickly in the fights. Especially up against Huskar. Huskar doesn't have a ton of magical damage. The Burning Spear is magical, so that will be partly negated. And Weaver has pretty good physical damage. With the Desolator and the little bugs and all the minus armor from Vengeful Spirit, they're easily chunking down 20 armor for the entire course of the fight on a single target, and possibly another 10 to 12 on everyone else. So Anti-Mage's armor should be gone lickety split. As this is a free Roshan, you're not going to contest with minus 14 armor, as that's just way too much. And Weaver does get the Aegis. It's a smart decision. Huskar really doesn't need it. He's got the Satanic. He's pretty much invulnerable at this point, as he has almost 2,000 hit points. He's going to burn a lot of them off on his life break, but that's of no real consequence to him, as once he's low, he's immune to the magical damage coming out from Union Gaming, and he just kind of continually survive in these fights. Anti-Mage doing the right thing, just continuing his split push. Venja has done a good job of split pushing this game, as he's way up there in terms of last hits. Problem is, he's actually come to too many fights. He's 3-6-2, so not good, but it could be worse. That's the best thing I can say about it. It could be worse. And when you're saying that about an Anti-Mage, that's not looking too good. Batrider's there, going to jump in, but nice stun. Beautiful reaction speed by Vestius. And that is just pretty. Literally had the magic missile cast as Batrider jumped in. And up in the top lane, Darkseer going to be in a bit of trouble as they burn pretty much everything on the Wraith King. Vestius comes up, gets another nice magic missile, but Disrupt is there. And there's nothing they can do for at least a few more moments, as Wraith King is able to jump away. He should be able to get out of this with his Blink Dagger. Jericho going to blink away. Bugs are up, and nice use of the Puck Illusion to actually get that last auto attack in. It prevented the Wraith King Blink Dagger for a few moments, but not enough at this point. And everyone gets away. So 1 for 1 overall across the map. And I call that a win for Union Gaming, as Anti-Mage is going to get a lot out of this. He's not actually going to get the tower, though. So that's not great, but still, more and more farms. He's the highest on net worth, tied with the Weaver, more or less, as they're sitting both at about 14,000. And this is where Union Gaming's lineup really starts to pick up. Wraith King's starting to get really strong. He's going to be level 16 pretty soon. He's 13 already, so the second level of Reincarnation, which is absolutely massive. He's about to pick up Blade Mail as well, so he's going to have some extra damage in these fights. And he's got the Blink Dagger already, so he's going strong. The only problem with Wraith King, though, is he's still going to be kited around. He practically has to go BKB or bust at some point, just so that he can walk through the Disruptor ultimate and the kinetic field, along with not being stunned out, as he's fairly vulnerable. Union Gaming's had a gem for a little while, as Batrider has it on him at the moment. While Vengeful Spear has picked up one for her team, just making sure that they have that extra vision and they can clear out all of these wards. They're going to spot one in the river once they get there, but wow, does Weaver deal a lot of damage. Huskar's here with a haste rune. Or no? Yeah, okay, it looked like he was surged up. And that is going to be a dead Jericho. As he does protect Wraith King, so overall small win. Huskar going to be pulled into the tower. But is that really what you want to do at this point? Do you want to pull Huskar into your team? And no is the answer, as he just goes to town doing Huskar things. Nice courier micro to actually pick up the gem. And the Anti-Mage going to continue a split push. He has the mana style. But it's not enough at this point. Huskar is going to make those illusions just cry this game. As Vengeful Spirit gets the tower kill. And this is looking fairly heavily in the House's Down's favor. Despite everything being pretty even. Yeah, less than 1,000 on either side. Wraith King in a lot of trouble. Zenderal's going way too close. And he's dead. There's no reincarnation for the fight. And they didn't really do anything. As Huskar going to jump in and go to town. He's taking a ton of damage, but nice swap. Means that he gets out of there just fine. Aegis is burned, but no, Huskar goes down as Anti-Mage, shows Anti-Maging. He does his Anti-Mage stuff, and that is 3. And they're going to go on Weaver. They don't have a good way to lock him down just yet, but that's the gem. That's 3 kills. And Anti-Mage shows why he's such a potent carry. So he got a beautiful blink and it just did so much damage. He was able to finish off the Huskar just due to the fact Huskar was too low. He got greedy, he popped his Satanic but didn't get a whole lot of damage during it. And this is just what you can't have happen if you're the House is Down. They're giving a lot of space to Anti-Mage, and with all those kills and they're just stupid amounts of farm on him is the best way I can put it. So he's gonna double up the Weaver here in just a few moments. It's pretty big. And this is where Anti-Mage starts to carry. Benjaz has done a great job overall of just continually farming, not getting down. And despite being picked off, he's in a great spot to move forward. We're going to have Dark Seer in a bit of trouble up top. No chance he makes that out of this. He has finished the mech and the pipe. It's not enough to keep his team alive. Weaver has gone for Radiance. Okay. Haven't seen this build in a long time. It's a fairly late Radiance, but it should work decently effectively in these team fights. Just as the ability to constantly deal damage. Surprised he didn't go for more survivabilities. That's all he really needs at this point. He doesn't need damage. He doesn't need anything else. He just needs to be able to survive these engagements. The only reason I think he goes Radiance is because they want to win right now, and he had a bunch of gold. Radiance will do a great amount of damage in these fights, and if he can be on the front lines, he can actually put a lot of the Blink Daggers on cooldown. So if he goes Manta Style next, you can pop the Manta Style, send in one of the illusions, just to mana burn or just to burn off the Blink Daggers, and make sure they don't come online for the good initiation that Union Gaming needs, as they have 4 of them and been using them pretty effectively to roam around and find ganks. Hopefully this pause isn't too long, as we are going to see Puck with a haste rune up top. He's finished off the Scythe of Ice, which is going to be big in these next engagements, as Huskar needs that BKB if he wants to survive. He's picked up the Ogre Club already, and it's mostly about the crowd control. It's not about the actual magic damage reduction, as he has pretty good magic reduction on his own. But there's too much crowd control coming out from Union Gaming, so you could easily be lassoed in and bursted down to very low health where he has to pop a Satanic quickly. And BKB will just prevent that, as Batrider is going to be going for Yule Scepter. And I like that choice this game. It's a great way to break the Lincoln Sphere on the Weaver. And at worst, you throw it on the Batrider and CC him for 2 seconds. Anti-Mage going to be just rocking down the Huskar. Nice swap against his death for a few seconds, but whoop-de-doo, you prevented the death for a moment, and you give Anti-Mage kills. Wraith King going to live as well with 50 HP. They just can't deal with this Anti-Mage. Huskar rips him a new one pretty effectively. Or Huskar gets ripped a new one pretty effectively. as he just can't deal with the damage coming out from Anti-Mage. He's got to get that BKB to prevent the mana break of just shredding him. And this is why Anti-Mage is loved by several Chinese teams. He can just take this game as long as he wants. And he's particularly effective. Puck in a bit of trouble. Weaver might be in a bit of trouble as well, as he does get hexed up. Though it's not a great position. He does not have time lapse, but nice kinetic field static storm. Though it's not on the money. As Puck was actually able to get out of it, they are going to be able to find the Batrider, or maybe not, as he gets away and Anti-Mage is here. Benjaz dominating, as he is truly carrying this game. Blink is up, Blink's right on top of the Disruptor, and Neofolk just does not have a chance. He's got a glimpse in a second, and he's going to have to throw it out, but no chance. Anti-Mage too strong. Huskar going to try to come in, but I don't think this works out in his favor. As there's the Wraith King, chop chop, and an easy kill. The house is down, throwing hard, because that's a 5 for none in what should have been a fairly easy engagement. The kinetic field was just a smidgen off. They kept the puck in the kinetic field. I think this gets turned around, and they win that engagement. But instead, Anti-Mage comes in, does his Anti-Mage thing, and just carries hard. But the real winner in this game is Nova and Syndril. They've just done such a good job of creating space. Jericho's been solid as well. They've all just created so much space. The Anti-Mage has had the room, and that's where this game has really been. Not about Benjaz, but about everyone else. As all that you have to create a lot of space if you're playing with an Anti-Mage. And his team was able to do that. They were able to stay pretty close in terms of kills. They were down a little bit throughout most of the game. And as we take a quick look at the experience and goal graph, yeah, we see it from that last engagement. It was pretty even through most of it. But now, boom, big gold lead. Just straight up. Same with experience. Goes from what was about a 3 to 4K experience lead for Union Gaming, just 14,000, one fight, as they get basically 7 kills in a span of about 2 minutes. And that's really the downside of the Houses Down lineup. They just can't deal with the Anti-Mage. They don't have the crowd control to actually fight him with the BKB, and he's used a few charges on it, but no big deal. Still 8 seconds. That's a pretty long BKB for the next 2 or 3 fights. And he's picked up the Butterfly, so we're going to have to see an MKB coming out of Weaver. And that's where the Radiance pickup kind of confused me. I'm surprised he went that over the MKB, or just going hard for the tankiness. A nice swap by the Vengeful Spirit, as Glimpses used as well. Jericho in a lot of trouble, but that's the Ghost Scepter. It keeps him alive for a good while. He traded 1 for 1, but Vengeful Spirit's a bit more useful to your team than the Shadow Demon at this point. And Anti-Mage going to town, rips all of Huskar's mana off, and Huskar gonna be chopped up, as he just doesn't have the opportunity to do anything. Anti-Mage going to town. Weaver picks up 1 kill on the side, but whoop-de-doo if you at that. Anti-Mage gonna find another one. His Batrider actually steals it away, and Violence is gonna be in a lot of trouble. He's gonna do some decent damage to the Wraith King, but he still has the Reincarnation. And he will burn through the Reincarnation, but he should be able to blink out of this if he times it right, but he does not, and he's gonna go down. Nice use of the Yule Scepter, and they're gonna turn it right back around on Violence. Violence in a lot of trouble. Has that 1 stack of sticky napalm, but they do not pursue any further. Benjaz this year is going to blink in, pop the mana style, or maybe not, deciding to save it and play it very conservatively. And surprised he is playing that conservatively, considering how strong he is. He still has the BKB. He had to burn a charge in that last engagement. But overall, I'd call it a small win for the Houses Down, all things considered, but small is pretty small. And yeah, experience is even. Gold is in favor of Union Gaming, just due to the fact Anti-Mage decided to go continue farming. And Weaver with 3,000 gold, we're going to see what he picks up next. Likely going to be the MKB. Yeah, there we go. Demon Edge. Either MKB or Rapier. I'm okay with Rapier. I'm always okay with Rapier. And I think Rapier is what they're going to have to pick up when the house is down. Just go Rapier into Daedalus on the Weaver and say, RNG gods, please, if he wants to actually win this. because I don't think he can outcarry this Anti-Mage, as the Anti-Mage is just too big at this point, and Weaver's still a long ways off his next big item. He also does not have buyback if he wants to use the buyback time-lapse trick, where you buyback time-lapse into the engagement. And this should be a fairly easy Roshan on the side of the house is down. There's going to be a contest for it, but Puck not going to be anywhere close, so it's going to be a 4v5. Weaver picks up the Aegis. Huskar does pick up the cheese. Wraith can get a jump in and not do a whole lot, as there's a nice static field combo just to make sure that Shadow Demon goes down. And Benjaz pops the BKB and goes to town, ripping through all that mana on Huskar. He just loses all of it so quickly. And Anti-Mage does blink in, picks up another kill. And Weaver gonna go down, loses the Aegis, but Anti-Mage chop as he just rips through everything. Oh, Anti-Mage. Benjaz looking pretty. He just continually kills every one of these engagements. And I'm just not feeling the effective Darkseer this game. The mech and pipe just seem completely useless. The wall doesn't do anything, it feels like, as Anti-Mage just continuing to chop through everybody.
Magic thyself out of that.
And I'm really shocked at how weak the Darkseer feels. His illusions just aren't getting anything. He had an Anti-Mage illusion for that fight. It stood around. He's not microing his illusions properly, and that's greatly hurting his team. You have to micro those illusions very effectively if you're the Darkseer, as there's no real point of playing him if you don't get those illusions actively fighting. And as we saw in that last engagement, he had one illusion of the Anti-Mage just kind of sitting around on the sidelines. And that's an illusion of a level 25 Anti-Mage, which is probably the strongest thing on the map at the moment, and is going to be for a good while. Weaver does pick up the MKB, so he's in a good spot for now. He still needs more survivability. If he gets jumped on and lassoed, he is dead in this span of the lasso if there's good follow-up. And with how Union Gaming is playing, they've been following up very well. And as we saw there, nice silence. Kinetic Field is going to save him for now, along with a Static Storm, but that's a burn Static Storm for pretty much nothing, as the Disruptor gets 4-staffed out and killed. Beautiful play by the Batrider. And the illusions are just going to town from the Anti-Mage. And they can create 4 illusions for this next engagement if they want to. Just pop the Disrupt on the Anti-Mage, pop the Manticile in 10 seconds, go in, wreck the tower, or just send him to the back line. This Radiance just doesn't do anything at the moment, as Anti-Mage too strong. Nice use of the Disrupt in the back line. Keeps the Huskar out of it. And Huskar going to be jumping all the way down and kills the Batrider off. But I'm not sure it's enough, as Anti-Mage gets the kill on the Darkseer. As it's just not enough coming out from the houses down. And this is a beautiful comeback. Nice swap, but not going to be enough. As Anti-Mage kills off the Vengeful Spirit. Cheese is popped, but Huskar does nothing. And he even got disarmed in that last engagement. He's life-stealing well. But as soon as the Satanic falls, it's all Benjaz. And there's a Weaver picking up a kill on the side, but you're losing racks. A kill on a Shadow Demon is not worth it. And this is really showing just the weakness of the house is down, as they're not playing fully as a team at the moment. They played well in these little engagements, as Weaver's going to be in a lot of trouble. He does get a good time lapse, but it's going to be enough for now. But this just shows their weakness. They aren't playing fully as a team. The Weaver has to be hitting the Anti-Mage. His item build is literally all about killing the Anti-Mage. He's got the Monkey King bar. He's got a lot of physical damage, and they have to have him kill him. The support's not useful at this point on the side of Union Gaming, outside of their initial combos. So I'm not sure why Violence is not picking them off. And it's really costing his team these last engagements, as he's gone for the easy pickoffs, which make your score look nice, as he's 14-3-10, but it does not win games. 43 minutes into the game, killing a Shadow Demon, not particularly useful. Especially considering he's got Blink, Force Staff, and the Ghost Scepter. So, Puck going to be in a bit of trouble. But, wow, does Puck go down fast. He's had to pop the Dream Coil, and he's going to go down. Shadow Demon preemptively popping the Ghost Scepter, and you might be in a bit of trouble. No, they don't decide to go on him. Violence has the ability to kill pretty much anyone. but he doesn't have the ability to kill the Anti-Mage. And that's the story of pretty much every Anti-Mage game. Either feast or famine, and today Benjaz is feasting 16, 6, and 6. Right where he needs to be this game. Done an excellent job of continuing to farm. And at this point, you farm for Boots of Travel and for refresh BKB, which he just picked up. You might trade the Manta style for Basher. I could consider doing that. So I don't think he needs the illusions at this point. He can create them with a Shadow Demon. There's no real silence effect or root effect to remove on this from the side of the House is Down. And Weaver going to be in a bit of trouble, as he is going to be pulled back. And chop, chop, chop. Easy kill. And that's an unstoppable spree going to Batrider. Vestius going to go down as well. 3 hits. Disruptor should fall in just a few moments. Batrider too fast. He's just the fastest thing on the... Well, he's not really on 4 legs. He's fastest thing in the game at the moment. And that's going to be another easy kill on Baby Scumbag. Just no chance. Kinetic Field Static Storm off the mark as Benjaz pops the BKB and says, I'm going to win the game. And GG is called by Neofolk. No surprise at this point, as they just can't deal with him. Anti-Mage too big. Weaver did the Radiance pickup from Weaver, likely costing his team the game slightly. I don't think it's completely through the game, as they just never could finish. They had good fights, but if you don't take racks, you don't take towers, you don't win games. That's all I can say about that. Is Union Gaming make a very nice comeback over the House is Down, and that was a great match from the Join Dota League. Welcome everyone to the Keys of the Game, where we watch some of the highlights and big turning points in the game we just watched. The first key to the game comes in as there's a big fight about to break out. Scumbag Baby gets taken out incredibly quickly. He gets a nice wall off, which gets a few illusions, but Benjaz is taken down very quickly. Aim with the Wraith King, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of THD, which is a pretty big win. But Batrider stays around and is able to pick up Neofolk on the Disruptor very quickly, takes him out, making it a 2-for-2, still heavily in THD's favor. But Nova comes in with a beautiful Dream Coil and is able to find some additional kills. And this is all because the House is Down stayed too long. They're eventually going to give away their Huskar as well, because there is just no reason to stay around after that. They were picked off and it traded 2 for 4, and this greatly gives Union Gaming an advantage. They still lost their Anti-Mage, but it gave everyone else a much needed infusion of levels and gold. The next key to the game comes in as Huskar makes a beautiful jump on Benjaz right into the arms of the Batrider, but is swapped away quickly. Disruptor comes in there to make sure the Anti-Mage doesn't get away in this fight, and he's going to go down quickly. The next big thing here is everyone on the side of the House is Down is fairly low. Nova gets a nice kill, but that's not going to be enough in this engagement. Shadow Demon has a large number of poison stacks, and he thinks he can take down Huskar at this point, as he chunks his health down to about half. Union Gaming is going to continue to engage, and there's a nice Dream Coil, but Huskar is at the peak of his performance and just goes to town. Puck also does an insane amount of damage, but it's just not enough in this fight, as it's a 4 for 3, and it's just an incredible fight for THD, and this gives him a bunch of much needed gold that allows Huskar to pick up a very early Satanic. The next key to the game comes in after a failed gank attempt by Union Gaming onto the Huskar. Wraith King is basically taken out of this fight really quickly and forced to pop his ultimate. Huskar jumps in, does a good bit of damage, but has a tower beating on the whole time. Benjaz comes in and shows off his BKB as he just does work, cleaning through everyone. Huskar can't get an auto attack as he re-engages after a nice swap to safety. And Anti-Mage picks up several kills, picking up 3 in this engagement, and is able to run forward and almost catch up to the Weaver, but Weaver's just a little too elusive. But this is a big turning point in the game as Union Gaming get 3 kills on the Anti-Mage. They're able to repel the first high ground push by the House is Down, and it just becomes very hard for the House is Down to make any pushes beyond this point. The next key to the game comes in as Violence tries to go for a kill on Puck. But he's under a lot of trouble as Puck reveals his sheepstick, and they're able to get a nice pull in onto the Weaver and take him out. He's already burned the time lapse. It does not have a chance to escape. The kinetic field static storm's a little off as it doesn't catch the Puck in it, and a beautiful disruption keeps Syndra alive. Anti-Mage goes unstoppable at this point, picking up multiple kills. Vengeful Spirit's going to come in and try and salvage the fight, but Wraith King, too strong, is able to find that kill pretty effectively. Huskar's going to come in to his own doom, as Thassus doesn't have any damage at this point on the Anti-Mage. The Anti-Mage just does way too much. They blink in, take him out, 5 for none in favor of Union Gaming, and the house is down just in a terrible spot after this. They let the Anti-Mage get too big, and at this point he picks up another set of kills, making him almost level 25 at the 34-minute mark. The final key to the game comes in as the house is down's base is sieged pretty heavily. Anti-Mage comes in, there's a decent static field and kinetic storm, but it's just not enough as Disruptor gets force-staffed out and killed off pretty quickly. Anti-Mage illusions are going to town with his newly picked up heart, and there's just nothing that the house is down can do at this point. The Weaver does good damage to him, but the Weaver just is not strong enough to kill the Anti-Mage quickly. THD is going to have to play it very cautiously to actually get this done, but immediately the Anti-Mage takes down that tower, and Weaver is able to get in for some decent damage, but Batrider's going to fall pretty quickly. Huskar jumping all the way outside the base, and he's practically taken out of this engagement just due to the fact he gets kited around. Anti-Mage gets an easy kill on the Darkseer, as his wall was not particularly well placed. Anti-Mage does do some good damage, able to take out the Vengeful Spirit as well. And Anti-Mage just going to town. Cheese is used on the Huskar, but he never gets an opportunity to just sit there and attack. He's constantly under pressure this entire game to do something, and he never gets a good auto attack off at all. And Huskar just gets ripped apart. And this is pretty much the game as Anti-Mage continues to go to town for the rest of the game. Weaver on the sideline does find a kill or two, but whoop-de-doo at this point as your base is falling for just a few kills on the support. Thank you for watching this Gamecast by Pander. If you wish to see more, please check out my YouTube and Twitch links below. Thank you again for watching.